4.2. Today we finally figure out what it means to be linear. What does linear mean? What does linear mean? Straight line. That's what we're looking for. We are doing nothing with curvy lines till later in the year. Straight lines is what we are doing. We are going to figure out which of these four are straight lines. Open up Desmos, if you have not already, and we are going to type in our four functions to see which of them are straight lines. Number 1. Pull up Desmos.
Who knows your computer?
And let's type it in. Ready? F of x equals negative 3x plus 2. And you are going to ask yourself, is this a straight line?
No.
Yes. Which means this is in fact a linear function.
Okay.
Done. Right, yes, put a check mark. Write the word linear. Number 1 is linear because it's a straight line. Number 2. Same thing. Is it linear? Let's find out. G of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4. Looking at our blue graph, is that linear? No, because what does it do?
It's curved.
It's curved. It's not linear. So you just write no or not linear. As simple as that. Let's do the next one. Again, it's just plug and chug, look at your graph. We look at our next one, we have h of x equals, not minus, equals 5 plus 2/3 x. That's supposed to be a 5. Is this a straight line?
Yeah.
Yes, so it's linear, check mark. Will there be questions like this on the quiz? You betcha. Are they free? More or less, I would say they're free, but you need to know that linear means straight. M of x equals 1 over x minus 3. Is that linear?
No.
No, it is not. Not linear. That is how you determine if a line is linear. Graph it in Desmos. We go from there. This was linear. This was linear. These were not linear. Linear is the math way of saying, is it a straight line? Easy peasy, doable.
Yeah.
On your Friday mini quiz, yes, you have a quiz on Friday. There will be a question just like this. Which ones are linear? Yes or no? Easy peasy. Alright. So, you have all seen this before, yes? This is called slope-intercept form. It is the second and final way we will learn to write an equation of a line. Which one have we already done? Standard form. ax plus by equals c. That is one way to write the equation of a line. That helps us find the intercepts. This is the most important form. Slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. It's the last way we learn to write equations, and it's the most common way you will see a line written. Okay? Why is it called slope-intercept form? Because we have the letters m and b. M, we know, represents the slope of the line, like always. B represents the y-intercept. That's why it's called slope-intercept. Because this form helps you find the slope, and it helps you find the intercept. So it's called slope-intercept form. What is a y-intercept? Do you remember? What happens at the y-intercept? This is where our graph does what? What does it cross at the y-intercept? It crosses the?
X.
The y-intercept is where our graph crosses y. See it right here in our little picture? Here's my line. My green point, that's my b value. That's where we cross the y-intercept. So m is the slope of the line. How steep is it? B is where the line crosses the y-axis. If you have those two things, the slope and the y-intercept, then you can write the equation of the line just by plugging in m and b, slope and y-intercept. Okay, this you need to know, y equals mx plus b. Just like you know ax plus by equals c, here's our second one, y equals mx plus b. So let's put this into action. Okay, we are going to first graph. The first time we graph, we're going to do it by hand. I think doing it by hand is faster than Desmos. Okay? Then we're going to do it in Desmos, which is easier because you just plug in chug, but it might take a little bit longer. So we're going to graph negative 2x minus 3 by hand. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down what is m, what is b. So looking at this, which is y equals mx plus b, what is the m value? It's negative 2. My b value is negative 3. Write down negative 3 for b. These are the only two things we need to graph our line on the coordinate plane. Okay? So, we're going to first plot the y-intercept. If the y-intercept is negative 3, the b value is always the y-intercept, we go to the y-axis, which is the one that goes up and down, and where are we going to plot a point? On negative 3. Now, how many points do we need to make a line? 2 points. One is not enough. We need a second point. To find the second point, we're going to use our slope to help us get there. The slope is like directions. It's like me saying, hey, if you want to go to Wendy's, go 1 block up and 1 block over. The slope would be 1 over 1. Here our slope is negative 2. Now we like when our slope is a fraction. What number is underneath this? When you have, not like this. Like if we were to turn negative 2 into a fraction, you just put a 1 under it. And this is helpful because remember slope is rise over. So this means to go down 2 and then over 1. So if we start at our point, we just need to go down 2 and that's my second point. And now all we do is do our best to draw a straight line that goes through our 2 points and we're done. Arrows on both sides. And that is how you graph a linear line by hand. I think it's faster. You just look at your 2 numbers. Boom, negative 3, negative 2, down 2 over 1. Connect it, done. Now, if you were to forget these 2 steps, we do always have Desmos to help us out. Takes a little longer because we have to plug things in, but we can do it. So, I'm going to open up Desmos. And I'm going to start by typing in my graph, and Desmos is going to do the work for us. So we're going to type it in. Y equals 2/3 x plus 1. And here my graph pops up. Now in order to get this onto my paper, I need to find 2 pretty points, okay? And that's the key. We need pretty points. So if I click here, negative 1.5 is not a pretty point. I don't want to guess where that is. Now, could you probably do it decent? Yes. But we want to plot pretty points. 0, 1 is a pretty point, but I need to find 1 more pretty point. So, I don't think it goes perfectly through negative 3, so here's how you can find a pretty point. I'll show you 2 ways. The first way is, if you click and hold down on the line, you can drag your finger back and forth until you find one. Now, sometimes this is frustrating. So, like, I can see, like, it looks like, you know, right here is a pretty point. It's 1.5. Do you see how tedious it is to just find it? So I'm going to show you the easier way. Instead of clicking and trying to find another pretty point, click on your gear right here. And you're going to see next to my equation, do you see these three things that pop up? X deletes it. This copies it. This turns it into a... So it takes my equation and turns it into a table. Now, I see one pretty point in here, 0, 1. That's good, right? Do you see any others? No, but look, you can add numbers. 3, 4. You can add as many numbers as you want to this table, but you're just trying to find two pretty points. So here I have a pretty point at 0, 1, and I have a pretty point at 3, 3. So I'm going to plot those points. 0, 1, and 3, 3. Now, does this take longer? I think so. I would rather graph by hand, but this is an option. 0, 1, and 3, 3. So I go 0, 1, 3, 3, connect them with a line. Arrows on both ends. Okay, by hand, by Desmos. But do I care which way you do it? I do not care. If you think it's fine to just plot and then count, great. If you don't want to trust your counting ability or your point plotting abilities, go into Desmos, type in your equation, turn it into a table, boom, boom, 2 points. All right, graphing is out of the way. Now we're going to go the opposite way. So what did they give us this time instead?
They gave us the line.
They gave us the line. They gave us the line, and our job is to write the equation. So, first off, make sure you start remembering. We want to write the equation y equals mx plus b. We need to know what m is, and we need to know what b is. Y and x will stay. We need to figure out what are these lines' slopes, and what are their y-intercepts. Now, we can do these both in Desmos really quick and easy with our cheat code like we've done before. You can also do them by hand. Do you want to see how to do both ways? You want to see both? I'm going to do the first one by hand. I'm going to do the second one with my steps for Desmos. I don't care which way you do it. Do the way you get right. So, to write the equation, we need two things. M, and we need B. M and B. B is easy. B represents what? Which intercept? The y-axis. The y-intercept. Where does my line cross the y-axis? I heard it. That's my B. B is -3. So I already know half my equations. Y equals something x minus 3. Now I also need the slope. To find the slope, my m value, I need to find a second point on my line that's pretty and do my counting, rise over run. So let's look for another pretty point. So I follow my line until I see, boom, there's another pretty point. So to get from my red point to my green point, I have to go up 1, and I have to go over 4. So my slope is 1 over 4. Which means my equation is y equals m 1/4 x minus 3. That's how you do it by hand. Again, I think this is a rare case scenario where doing things by hand is actually a little quicker, but you have to have a little more brain power. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to show you how could I do this with Desmos. Desmos does most of this counting for us. We just need to know what to type in. Yep. So, step 1 says what? Step 1 tells me to do what? Step 1. You know how to add a table, don't you? Add table. These steps are exactly the same as finding slope. After you added a table, what did you need to put in? 2 points. Here's our graph. We got to find 2. I'm looking for pretty points. For instance, right here is a pretty point. -2, 2. I need one more. Find another. Doesn't matter where. Any other pretty point. 2, -4. Great. Is that the only one you could have chose? No. But any 2 work. 2 points. Put them in Desmos. We got 2, 2. What was it? -2 and 2. -4. I can see my 2 points popping up. Click on the space underneath and type in your cheat code. Now you all know about your m value, right? Your slope. You need me to make this bigger for you? Here's my slope, but look what's right under it. Here's my b value. Do we want our slope to be a decimal? No. Type in m. Turn it into a fraction. So here's my slope, -3/2. Here's my b value, -1. It tells me right under my slope in my cheat code. So I have my 2 things. I have slope, I have b, I can write my equation. So m is -2/3. B is -1. So what would my equation be? Y equals
-3/2.
mx plus b. That's the equation of the line. Y equals mx plus b. Again, I think doing it by hand is a little quicker. But you gotta know what you're doing. Desmos, they find that slope for you, they find the b value for you. You just need to know how to put in a table, 2 points in the cheat code. Either way, I don't care which way you do it. As long as you can write the equation, I'm a happy camper. But it's up to you to choose if you want to do it by hand or do it with Desmos. We just got a few more to do. You're tired? Alright, we good? Alright. Now this time we're given a table. Same thing. We're given a table. Our job is to turn it into the equation of a line. We're going to do one by hand, and we're going to do one with Desmos. Do I care which way you do it? Whichever way gets you the right answer, I'm a happy camper. We always need the same 2 things. We need to figure out what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. Okay? So, step 1, pick 2 points and find the slope. This is the slope formula that we've done before. I'm going to pick 2 points. If it were me, guess which 2 points I'd pick? I would pick 3, 0, and I would pick... Why would I pick these 2? They're positive numbers. Now, does it matter? No, but then I don't have to deal with negative numbers. So here I have my x, my y. My x, my y. Now, I like when they're stacked up like this because I can just subtract my y, subtract my x's. What do I get when I subtract my y's? 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 is -1. What's 3 minus 6? -3. My y goes on top. my x goes on the bottom. So what's my slope? Other way. Y goes on top. Now, what happens when I do a negative divided by a negative? It's positive. So I can just write 1 over 3. There's my slope, but what else do I need? My equation is y equals mx plus b. I got m, but what do I need? I need my y-intercept, my b value. Okay? I need my b value. Do you know your b value by looking at this? I do. It's in that table somewhere. What is the x value always going to be for a y-intercept? It's always going to be 0. Like if we go look at these graphs, like this is the point 0, negative 2. This is the point 0, negative 1. The y-intercept is always going to have an x value of 0. So what is our b value? Negative 1. This is our y-intercept because the x value is 0. So b is negative 1. Once you have m, once you have b, you can write your equation. The equation of this line is y equals 1/3 x minus 1. That's the equation of the line, and we did it by hand, just by using our table. We found our slope by subtracting our 2 points. We found the y-intercept by finding which point has an x value of 0. We plug in m, plug in b, done. Now we shall do the same thing with Desmos. You ready? Are you guys tired? Alright, let's delete this out. Similar steps every time. Really? All these are not much different. I'll make this a little bigger for you. Okay, step 1. Do what? Add a table. Classic first step. Add a table. How many points do we need to put in? 2. Can you put all of them in? Certainly. You don't need to. You just need to. -2, 7. And -1, 5. Could I have done other ones? Sure. I just decided to do these 2. Then we're going to enter the cheat code. In the next line, type in your cheat code. I scroll down, and what 2 things am I looking for? My m, my slope, and my y-intercept, which is b. M and b. -2 is my slope. My b value is 3. So I'm ready to write the equation of my line. M is -2, b is 3. M is -2, b is 3. Now I can write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals m is -2 x plus my b value plus 3. That is the equation of the line given that table. Right? Because my equation is y equals mx plus b. I plug in m, plug in b. Done. That's the equation of the line. Easy as that. I think I just got one more problem for you, yeah? Okay. Now here's where you're going to call me a liar. Are you ready? So here's the last type of problem. Remember I always told you you needed 2 points? Okay. That was kind of a lie. It is possible to find the equation of the line if you're only given 1 point, but you also have to have 1 extra piece of information. So 1 point isn't enough, but if you have 1 point and another point, good. If you have 1 point in the slope, good. If you have 1 point in the y-intercept, good. You need 2 bits of information. So you'll notice this first problem, does it give me 2 points? No, it gives me only 1 point, but it also gave me the slope. As long as you have 2 pieces of information, you are able to find the equation of the line. Only 1 piece of information isn't enough. So if I'm given the point 4, 6, and I'm given the slope, I technically can still do this. However, we can only do it with Desmos. Lucky us. So, cover up the steps, but that's okay. You can see them on your paper. So, I'm going to delete this out. We always add our table. Yeah. Yeah, that was that. What am I going to put in the table? 4, 6. Now, I don't have another point to put in the table, but I do have another piece of information. I know that m equals 1/2. So in the next line, what we're doing is we're telling Desmos everything it needs to know to make our equation. So in the first table, we told it the point. We tell Desmos our points by putting them in the table. Now we need to say, hey Desmos, guess what our slope equals? M equals 1/2. Okay, so now Desmos is chugging. It's like, all right, I know the point 4, 6. I know this line needs to have a slope of 1/2. Now we need to use the cheat code so it can tell us what m and b are. y1 squiggly, mx1 plus b. And what does it tell us? It tells us our y-intercept is 4. And we already know m. So we know m is 1/2. We know b is 4, so we can write our equation. What would be the equation of this line? Y equals 1/2 x plus 4 plus b. So y equals 1/4 and 4. Ooh. M was 1/4. P was 4. So our equation was y equals 1/4 x plus 4. There's the equation of our line. Okay? Easy peasy. As long as you have 2 pieces of information, Desmos can do the rest. And if you forget those steps, I wrote those steps over on the side for you. Yeah. Yeah, when the packet's back. Alright. Second problem, I was trying to be tricky, okay? What does the second problem give you? It gives us the x-intercept and it gives us the slope. Now, technically, I gave you a point. Doesn't look like it, but I did. How do we write the x-intercept as -4 as a point? -4, 0. See how I was trying to be tricky? So this is really the point. -4, 0. So it's just like the last one, but I tried to hide the point from you, which this is what the OST does. Like, you know how to do this one perfect, but they're going to phrase it where it's like they're hiding the information. So here's our point, here's our slope, same 2 steps. Or I guess there's more than 2 steps here. So I'm going to add my table. I'm going to put in my point, -4, 0. I'm going to tell Desmos, hey, I need my line to have a slope of -3. M equals -3. And then I'm going to use my cheat code. And you're going to see it pumps out. It's like, hey, your y-intercept is -12. So we know m is -3. We know b is -12. We can write our equation. M is -3. B is -12. So my equation, y equals -3x minus 12. I could write -3x plus -12, that's fine, but that's just an extra plus that we don't need. Okay, and there's number 4. Do I have more on here? Do I have one more? Really? That's everything? We done did it? Oh, we just got to talk about vertical and horizontal lines. This is This is nothing. Okay, last case scenario, okay? This is the last thing. This is easy. You just got to memorize this. There's no tricks. There's no Desmos. You just know it or you don't. Now, lines are not always diagonal. They can also be flat or they can be vertical. When a line is flat or vertical, it's not in the form y equals mx plus b, and you just have to memorize this. Okay? So, vertical lines are always written as x equals a number. Okay? So if you ever see a linear equation that's like x equals 2 or x equals -7, these are linear equations, but they go straight up and down. If you ever see a linear equation or function that is just y equals a number, like it's missing the x, then that means the line is flat. Okay? Again, what could it could be like y equals 0, or it could be y equals 7. Okay? If you just see y equals another number or x equals a number, it just means that line is either flat or vertical. It's just memorized. It's not a great way. Sometimes you want to know how I remember? I don't really know. When I write the letter X, I imagine an arrow that points up and down. See how they point up and down? So I remember X is vertical. It's stupid, but that's how I imagine it. So, if we look at these last couple examples, so here, the equation y equals -2. You plot the point. Y is -2, so I go to the y-axis, and I plot -2. Is y flat or up and down? Flat. So I draw a flat line. My second equation is x equals 1. So where will I plot 1? On the x or the y? On the x. I'm going to plot a point on 1, x. Is x equals a vertical or a flat? Vertical. So I draw a vertical line. That's it. Now we're going to go backwards. So if I look at this one, is this vertical or horizontal? So is it x equals or y equals? And what number does it go through? These don't happen that often, but when they do, no, they're not hard. You just got to know it. Is this vertical or horizontal? So y equals. This one I tried to trick you. On the y-axis, what number does it go through? 0. Y equals 0. That's how you do vertical and horizontal lines. You don't need Desmos. You don't really need to do math. You just need to know x equals goes up and down. Y equals goes left to right, flat. Those are, I know that was a lot of notes, but those are our notes for the week. Okay? Those are our notes for the week. The hardest part about this week, I don't think, is the math. It's knowing what to do for each problem. Like, oh, I got to add a table. I got to put in points. I got to put in my cheat code. I got to write my equation. You know, it's a lot of things. But